Another day, another trip.
Another day, another trip.
Welcome back to another Russa Americanata adventure. In this episode, we visited Genoa, just a 2-hour train ride from Turin. Genoa is the birthplace of famed explorer Christopher Columbus, as well as the legendary violinist Niccolò Paganini. Food-wise, it's known for its pesto and incredible focaccia. And a huge surprise to me, it's also the birthplace of blue jeans. So we invite you to discover this interesting and historic city with us. After getting some much-needed coffee, we had about 1 hour before the first museum that we were going to visit opened. So we decided to explore for a bit to get our bearings, but we got a bit turned around going up and down all of the Caruggi.
Caruggi are the narrow streets and alleys in Genoa's historic center. They were built this way so residents could quickly set up barricades and defend themselves from pirates.
As we made our way to our first museum, we stumbled upon what looked like an unassuming church.
In actuality, it was Basilica della Santissima Annunziata del Vastato, built between 1591 and 1625. Of particular note is a painting of the Last Supper by Giulio Cesare Procaccini, completed in 1620.
To get to our first museum, we had to make a bit of a hike. We climbed what felt like 1,000 steps, but the reward was worth it. A great view of the beautiful architecture this city has to offer. Our first stop was Castello D'Albertis, the former home of Captain Enrico Alberto D'Albertis.
This castle is a true wonder. It was built by a captain who loved to travel so much that he brought home treasures from all over the world. He collected artifacts like we collect magnets today. He filled his entire house with them. It's a museum now, but it was once his own universe, built with his own hands. I love this kind of carpets. When I see this, I have a feeling to do.
We spent about 2.5 hours in this museum and we started to get hungry, so we made our way back down into the alleyways to find some lunch.
We really wanted to try something typical from Genoa. I opted for pasta with pesto, and Philip tried a particular type of focaccia. For dessert, I had semifreddo with walnuts and honey, and Philip had his favorite tiramisu.
Our next stop was the Galata Museo del Mare, the largest maritime museum in the Mediterranean. This place is massive, with detailed exhibits on shipbuilding, with a full-size replica of a Genoese galley, a large memory and migration section which tells the story of Italian immigration, and of course, a large area dedicated to the history of Christopher Columbus. This section was fascinating to me because it brought back memories of when I was a kid learning about the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria coming to what is now the US, and being in a museum talking about them leaving to go to the US was, for me, a treat.
Honestly, I thought this museum would be boring, but I was pleasantly surprised. It tells such an interesting story of the sea that you are instantly immersed in the atmosphere of shipbuilding and long-distance voyages. Next to the museum, right on the water, you can visit a real submarine, the Nazario Sauro S518, built in 1976. It's currently the only Italian submarine that can be viewed afloat. Inside, there is a realistic atmosphere. You can hear the sounds of the crew, the engine, and the sonar. It's a truly unusual sensation, and you understand you must be incredibly dedicated to your profession to live and work in such conditions.
To finish up the day, we took a bus up to the Belvedere Castello observation deck, which offers stunning views of the city port and the sea. We took a brief pause to enjoy the city from above one more time before heading back down the historic Ascensore di Castelletto, another landmark of the city built in 1909. We were super tired from walking all day. We were supposed to go to a restaurant in the evening, but we decided to go ahead and just take a bus, head back to the hotel, and call it a day.
So, plans for today go to visit beautiful street Garibaldi, where we can find Palazzo Rolli. After, we would like to visit Casa di Cristoforo Colombo and in general show you beautiful city of Genoa.
The Casa di Cristoforo Colombo is a reconstructed 18th century house. It stands on the foundations of the original home where Columbus spent his youth. It now functions as a small museum, offering insight into the life of the explorer. Next door, you can find the Chiostro di Sant'Andrea, a quiet courtyard, which is the only surviving part of the medieval monastery from the 12th century. The Porta Saprana, built around 1155, is a well-preserved example of medieval military architecture. It was once a main entrance to the city.
We finally made it to the Piazza De Ferrari in the heart of Genoa. Here you'll find the famous bronze fountain. It was installed in 1936 and has already become a symbol of modern Genoa. We started to get hungry, and sushi was calling from above. So we decided to answer the call. Not only was the sushi good, but they set us just above the sign that was calling to us from the piazza. It was nice to see the fountain from a different perspective.
On our walk to the next destination, we passed by the Garibaldi Monument, the Grand Carlo Felice Theatre with the famous Paganini statue, and the beautiful Galleria Giuseppe Mazzini, with its magnificent glass covering.
Our last major stop was Via Garibaldi, a street famous for its many palaces which used to be home to Genoa's wealthiest families. Today they've been transformed into museums and art galleries. We only had time to visit two, Palazzo Rosso and Palazzo Bianco. Before heading into Palazzo Bianco, we stopped for a quick energy boost. We needed to recharge for the last part of our day. Something particular about Palazzo Bianco is that you were able to go out onto the gorgeous terrace. There weren't many tourists that day, so we decided to take advantage of a quiet, out-of-the-way spot before heading to our next destination.
On the way to the main cathedral, by chance we passed the church of Santa Maria di Vigni, which gets its name from its location. In Italian, di Vigni means of the vineyard. The area where the church was built was outside the city walls, in a region full of vineyards. The Cathedral di San Lorenzo is known for its distinctive black and white striped facade. The cathedral construction began in the 11th century, and inside it holds Genoa's most significant relic, the ashes of John the Baptist, the city's patron saint.
All right, we're ending our trip here in Genova, and actually right now we're not in Genova, we're in a small town just outside of Genova called Nervi. We spent a lot of time walking over the last 2 days in the city, and we wanted to get a little bit of ocean, a little bit of nature.
I wanted to stay by the water because this year we didn't came to plage, to the beach, so I wanted to feel this sound, smell this perfume of sea, and enjoy this beautiful river with sun.
Thanks for joining us on another Russa Americanata adventure, and as always we have lots more planned, so hope to see you guys in the next video. Ciao!
Ciao!